Rubat's magic, catch go! Frame! Freeze!
Hello, welcome to the Kamen Rider HG release of Wizard. Of course, also contains Kamen Rider Fourze. I forgot that combo. Meteor Fusion State. And, well, yeah, here's the sheet. Shows you all his different wizard poses. And on the back, it's general warning advert and some sort of gashapon advertisement on the back. For a closer look, please go to my Facebook link below for supplementary pictures. And this here says full set is 7 figures. Of course, looking at this quickly, you can't see where the 7 figures are. There are only 5. Well, turns out this right here is the second alternative to the first wizard form. Unlike old HG releases where there's a extra small rare figure, here the extra rare figure isn't different shape or different pose at all. It is the exact same figure except it's actually fully painted, which means that most of the people getting the more common figures are getting incomplete figures. Frankly, that's just disgusting. So yeah, that's the first downside of this new release. So get yourself a Gundam marker pen and just paint in the silver areas. The other more rare edition is the normal flame style, again with silver and red painted on the legs and the cape. So first let's just take a look at flame form of wizard. So this is currently the newest release of the HG figure line. The stands again have changed, this time smaller plastic. It's also a lot softer, and because of the way it's been shaped, because it's smaller, it doesn't really hold up the figure too well. Yes, without any movement the figure will stand with the stand on his leg, but a little push and he falls over. This means that the stands for the HG line has been downgraded back to nearly uselessness. They're not as bad as the original pegs, but they're not as good as the middle line of stands. In terms of detail, he is holding his sword and gun in gun mode. The silver red is painted nicely because there's still no compound effect on these figures. If you're looking for those, you gotta look at another line. And there's the stand falling off again, useless. Both of his arms are on round pegs, so you can move. The hands again also can move. Well, his right hand can anyway, so you can point the gun in different positions. The cape and belt are a single piece. See, the plastic is not too hard, so you can flap it a little bit. The legs are a solid piece. In fact, all of the legs are pretty much the same mold. All the capes are the same mold, just with slight color variants depending on the style. His arm is actually disgustingly loose and keeps falling off. This is a terrible release so far. Rotating the torso is fine. There is no... because everything's flat, when you rotate the torso it doesn't pop off from the peg. So you can rotate him without making him look like a weird statue. Again, this is the more common version where the ring attachment is not painted. There's no silver paint on the cape either, and not only that, the back of the figure is not painted at all. See here, sort of like those soft plastic figures you get in the candy toy boxes. There's nothing on the back of the leg. However, the head is painted all around, which thank God, because the helmet is an important factor of Kamen Riders. The middle red there and the torso is sort of a dull dark red and just doesn't look too good. And also the arms aren't painted on the back either. This is actually a really big issue because the hand, even though it's not painted on the back is facing the front. So that means, depending on how you're looking at the figure, you can easily see the non-painted areas. His left hand is not so much bigger. The issue is not so big on his left hand, but the issue is really big on his right hand because of the way he's holding the gun. In terms of plastic quality, it's just like the last Fourze release. It's okay, it's not too brittle. I think the Fourze release was the worst because of the orange plastic and the paint mixing in, making it feel slightly low quality. Next we have Kamen by the Wizard Water style. Again, the leg stand is completely useless. Here he is scanning his driver. Got his hands in that mode. The leg and cape piece are the same mode as the fire style, flame style, but just different painted. Again, it's not painted on the back. Again, his left hand is completely loose. I don't know if something wrong with the molding. It seems all of these arms with the same mold just fall off easily, so get some blue tack and stick it in. And if you also look at his head, it's actually terrible quality control, as the blue is not painted completely. It is frankly annoying and amateurish, makes it look like something a bootleg would do. Again, the ring is not painted on his hand, and the rings are not painted on the cape, but of course there is no alternative, more rare version of this figure in this set, so you're stuck with him. The metallic blue looks nice on the torso. The shapes are okay, they're a bit smaller for the chest. Nothing is painted on the back apart from the belt. And there seems to be some sort of weird molding issue of the helmet as well. The silver is a bit smudged on the back, and there's a bit of shiny black where matte should be. So, terrible quality control. Good thing I have a blue metallic Gundam marker and I can fix it easily, but those not so skilled with painting miniature figures, I suggest you double check the packet before buying, because if you're buying from a capsule toy machine, you can't tell what figure you're getting, so unlucky. Oh, and by the way, there's nothing at the bottom of their feet, no patterns whatsoever. Next we have Dragon style. Again, he is the more common version, so there's no paint on the rings on his belt, there's no paint on the ring on his finger either, and of course there's lacking any paint whatsoever on the legs. The legs are just a chunk of black plastic with no paint whatsoever, because again the stand is completely useless. It doesn't even peg onto the leg. Forget those stands, get yourself some blue tack. Those stands are completely useless, just chuck them in the bin. The helmet is painted fine, gold, red and silver. There's some sort of molding thing there so that the eye isn't as flat as it should be. Little to no paint on the back. Although the hands, the shoulder pads are nicely painted silver and silver red, but a closer look you can tell where the glue is joining the shoulder pad to the arm. This is not too big of an issue, but if you look slightly closer at the figure you can definitely tell the glue marks there, and that's just, again, terrible. And also the left hand joint is looser than everything else. Next we have the green upgrade form, which hasn't appeared in the TV series yet. He is holding the gun sword in gun mode. And as you can see, the left hand is just fallen off again, so loose left arms. This leg is pretty much the same mold as the dragon style. Injection plastic right there, injection mold lines, very amateurish. Again, the belts aren't, the rings on the belt aren't painted at all, apart from a smudge of silver there, which is a mistake. However, his green ring is painted metallic green on his finger, which is good, I guess. Cannot tell any of the glue marks on the shoulder pad, so this one is assembled a bit better than the dragon form. Helmet looks nice, the plastic is soft enough so it won't break the horns, and there's pretty much little to no detail on the back. His leg stand favors much better and doesn't actually pop off, so he can stand quite easily. Lastly we have Fourze Meteor Fusion States. His belt is single color, not painted at all, although the molding is quite excellent with the globe sort of popping out. Plastic is good enough so it won't snap too easily, but try not to push it too much. Legs are painted fine, the entire body is sort of just purple. This sort of makes the soft figure candy toy better looking than this figure, because that one is transparent and has some sparkle plastic. Here is just a matte purple, which is not what the actual character looks like in the show. His suit is very shiny with lots of little sparkly little bits on it. So in terms of accuracy, this one isn't even accurate. The helmet is fine, I guess. The gold eyes are sort of shiny gold. It's different to the chest piece. If you look at the back again, the paint just stops. The belt's not even painted silver. The gold just stops on this sort of shoulder pads, much like the candy toys. The Meteor hand driver doesn't have any paint, although it's molded nicely on the arm. Probably popped out of the arm and used on something else. The pointy areas are quite sharp, so be careful. The helmet is at least painted on the back as well. Both arms have hardly any paint to them, so not too much detail there. His leg peg favors okay. There's a few lines on the bottom of his feet for a tiny bit of detail. So overall, if you want to get this series of HG figures, I recommend getting them from a shop where they've already opened all the capsule toys and not getting them from a capsule machine, because you never know what quality they might come out as. If you get a toy from a capsule machine and they're missing some paint, you can't exactly go back to the seller and say, hey, this isn't right. And the second thing with these is the middle releases of HG figures have improved stands on the legs, actually fit well and are big enough to support the figure. Here the stands are far too small to support the figure properly, and because of the molding shape, just fit on too tight and often come loose from the figure, causing them to fall over. And the next thing with this release of figures is that it's completely pointless to get the more rare two figures. Those two figures are pretty much just, well, what you should have gotten in the first place. In the past, HG figure lines have always had an extra hidden figure or bonus figure where they have a different hand or different assortment of pieces or a different pose, different stance. Here they're just telling you, right, these rare figures are actually complete forms, and what most of you are getting are incomplete products. And yes, we're selling you incomplete products, and we're jackasses. So whoever in Bandai working decided to do this, I wish you burn in hell and wasting our time. And if you're watching this video, I hate you. So yes, it is completely pointless to get those figures. In the shop, they were selling the extra two figures for an extra of 212 Hong Kong dollars. That's about £20 or about $40. And if you think you're going to pay $40 for two extra figures that you can just slap a bit of silver paint on, you're a bit silly, so don't do that. Don't let Bandai make money off this sneaky tactic, this disgusting practice, and a disgusting downgrade of the overall good quality HG line. If HG line carries on to be like this, I hope people buy less of them and kill off the HG line completely. Thank you and have a nice day. Check out the supplementary pictures underneath on the Facebook profile. Check out my other profiles underneath. Check out my eBay brick link. Subscribe, comment just below. Also check out Hong Kong Media, Open Media Hong Kong for Hong Kong podcasts based on politics, jockey racing, and video games, movies, and many other topics. Thank you very much and have a nice day.